So recently we've been having some great fun pondering the simple question of what if? We asked about an additional refresh of Wolfgang's official rework to see whether or not there was room for improvements. We revisited mandrakes and questioned why they were never fleshed out beyond a couple of crafts, while also offering options on how to potentially remedy that. But truth be told, the inquiry that started it all came to be nearly a month ago, when we set out to see how a Sword of Enlightenment would potentially play out in this occasionally wacky world of ours. It was good fun, even if the thing was crazy OP. But you know, I have come to find that sometimes you just need to get unreasonably OP. I mean, these what if videos essentially boil down to an even better question. Why not just have some fun? And that is exactly what we're gonna do. It's time to let loose. And thanks again to 3 points of popularity and Poop Expert for adding to our arsenals. The Altar Guardian Bow, aka the Bow of Enlightenment, is here. And while it itself is cheap, the arrows needed to actually use it will not be. Oh, and speaking of them arrows, their crafts will all provide 6 arrows each, so chances are we're going to need much more space for all of our other nonsense at the end of the day. But thankfully, the modders thought of this and added a quiver that will hold 16 sets of individual arrows, and we can access them wherever we go. It's good stuff. But before we get to the actual arrows, let us talk more about the bow here, as it's actually hiding some stuff from us. The Altar Guardian bow can be leveled via individual pieces of gold nuggets, as you can see, and with each level comes a teensy tiny range increase, up to 30 overall, if you can even fathom about making it that far, considering just how slow it goes. But when or if this thing reaches level 200, a level that in and of itself is also going to cost a pretty penny, we will then start to enjoy a bonus 5% speed boost from here on out, with an additional 5% being added per every 100 levels after that. Now that sounds way too good to be true, but just bear in mind just how many bloody gold nuggets you're gonna need to even get halfway there. Oh, but come level 400, we will also benefit from the bow returning a fired arrow 5% of the time, with another 5% chance being tacked on for every 100 levels after that, up to a 30% chance overall. But even that's not all, folks. For you see, the bow has a built-in special that will rain down arrows on those in its radius, but do bear in mind that it has a cooldown to contend with. This special, though, will get bigger and better with a leveled bow. But for us here today, anticipate a default bow, as we want to see what this thing can do at its baseline. But the first arrows in question are these grass arrows here, costing but twigs, and yup, you guessed it, grass. Now they deal 17 damage each, which is half that of a spear. However, since the bow allows for apparent rapid fire, that's probably not going to matter all that much. Not against non-bosses, that is. But I would advise a tweak to that fire rate. It's way too frickin' fast. But next comes the golden arrows, and these are by far the most important arrows in this mod. Not because they are particularly good or anything, but because every single arrow type to follow will require these arrows first. And that is one heck of an investment, honestly. You need to make a ton of grass arrows first, then smash 2 gold together with them for these guys, only then to fork over even more pretty expensive materials for any of the others to come. Yeah, as I said, this might not actually be as OP as you think. But it sure is fun, especially since we are now into the special arrows, like the moon rock requiring mutation arrows here. You want to turn bees into bee queens? Go for it. Butterflies into dragonflies? Sure, why not? Normal frogs into kings of the frogs? Hop to it. It will turn beefalo into ancient guardians, or small rabbits into humanoid ones. All bird types in the game will turn into canaries, which in turn will turn into misery toadstools, because of course they will. And last, but not really, salamanders will become celestial champions, because that makes frickin' sense. Folks, you get the idea. Nearly every single mob in the game can mutate into something else, so have fun, but be cautious, because this can get out of hand very quickly. Enjoy. But my second favorite arrow of the day is the Cupid arrow here, as it has 2 jobs and it does both of them very well. Number 1, it will de-aggro anything that is already aggroed onto us by literally shooting hearts into its face. And number 2, it will render pigmen, bunnymen, merms, and spiders all loyal to you in an instant, even if such things are supposed to absolutely hate your guts. Lovely stuff. Another good one, though, is the ejection arrow here, and I've really just been calling it the boomerang arrow, as it literally does just that. Boomerangs itself from target to target, dealing 34 damage to each. Up to 20 targets, mind you. It's the crowd control arrow, and it does one heck of a job of it. Rang away. These here whirlwind arrows are pretty neat too, and I imagine most of you have already guessed what they're about to do. Create whirlwinds. Fire one, and 3 mini tornadoes will follow suit, which sounds pretty darn awesome. But if your target is quite mobile, chances are they're gonna be wasted, so be aware of that. But fire some of these arrows at things in a forest, and you're gonna be killing 2 birds with 1 stone, if you know what I mean. Full sight arrows are also a thing, and once again, these should be very easy to understand, and probably very familiar. You fire one, and there will be a chance for a shadow tentacle to pop out of the ground to help you out. If they can hit your target, that is. But these are very much like Walter's very own dual sight pellets. So my advice is kind of the same. Don't be too out of range of an enemy's attack while using these arrows, otherwise you're kind of going to be wasting them, as they only deal 34 damage themselves. You'll want to try to slap your enemies silly. Oh, but it was bound to happen eventually, folks. Time to talk these stupidly powerful arrow types. Lightning arrows here are expensive, sure, but when a single arrow could potentially deal anywhere from 200 to 400 damage, while also calling down additional lightning strikes that's going to target hordes of mobs, I'm thinking none of us are going to care about that at all. Do bear in mind, though, that you too will be struck by said lightning with each shot, so if you're not wearing any protective gear, you're gonna die just as fast. Moving on, though, to ice arrows, and they are exactly what you think they are, and will do exactly what you think they will do. Perhaps a little too well, though. Yep, that's all she wrote, folks. They're gonna freeze targets. It's a little too good, as I said, so I would definitely think about toning things down here. But finally, how could we have ice without fire? Folks, fire arrows deal a whopping 134 damage each, and light your target on fire. And what more is there to know? Well, you should probably know that this explosion that you're seeing isn't actually an area of effect explosion, but it will still get the job done swiftly. And there you have it, everyone. The Alter Guardian Bow by 3 points of popularity and someone who knows their crap. It's available now on the workshop, has been for a while, and continues to get updates. It's fun, it's very powerful, yet you do have to work quite hard to actually make it so, and it is now part of a set of Enlightened gear ready to go. I've been meaning to showcase it for a while, and I wasn't really quite sure how I was gonna do such a thing, but I'm glad I finally caved in to just sit down to have some fun with an OP what-if weapon. As heck, this is what these videos are all about, so I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, folks. Well wishes to all. Be sure to channel your inner Hawkeye, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.